Hi friends, welcome to Love Good Lane. My name is Matthew. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking about some of my makeup repurchases, some new things that I got, another mini haul-ish, and then we'll see how much time we've got. Maybe I can slap some makeup products on my face. So, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing great. Let's start with some primer business, and I wanted to give you an update on this that I mentioned recently on my channel. This is by Beauty Creations. I've not heard of that brand before, but Beauty Creations, it's the Flawless Stay Hydrating Primer, and it's sort of a gel. It just squirted off into the distance. It's sort of a gel consistency. It's a little weird, but I like it. Put some of that on so it has time to dry. It does have, I don't know how to describe that fragrance. It is slightly fragranced, but I got this in my Ipsy box, and I would actually consider purchasing this again. It doesn't always happen with the Ipsy subscription items, but it's a nice texture, and I feel like it has provided my foundation and whatnot some extra staying power. Okay, so that was a little update on that. I do like that. I have to look up though where you even get Beauty Creations, that brand. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Other things, I don't think I'm going to use this today, but I have been using it. This is the Doll 10 Peptide Bounce Balm Foundation, and I really like it. It's wonderful texture. It's creamy, but it doesn't feel like tacky or sticky once it's on. Good coverage. I don't know, all around, I really like this. I have it in the shade Light. I'm not sure how many different shades they have, but I do like that. I do also like, and I've been using a lot, this Refocus and Glow palette that has a blush, a face powder, bronzer, and a highlight. I do like that. Good textures. Also, we've been talking about my brow journey. This is the, can we see it there? Sort of. The Doll 10 Brow Remedy. It's a pencil, has a spoolie on the other side. I do like this. It's in the shade Taupe. I don't like it as much as another eyebrow pencil that I have coming up. I'll talk about that in a sec. But, so I did get those. What else did I pick up? I have repurchased my Boomstick Glow. This is the moisturizing Boomstick. Are you familiar with that? Oh, well, because I'm still using up the dregs of my original bottle. But it's a stick like this, but it's wonderfully moisturizing, and you'll have to experience it to find out if you haven't tried this. But there we go. I'm sure that's too small to read. But this is the Glow, the moisturizing, and I just put it on all over. But it creates a wonderful look, like a blurred texture, very hydrating. I like it a lot. I also got, because I figured, well, I'm on the site, I might as well, right? I also got the Boomstick, the blush stick in Peony Pink. It looks really scary in the tube, but once it's on, because these go on really sheer, it's a lovely pink color. And then I'm trying this out. This is the contour, in bronze. You could use it as a bronzer, a little contour, or whatever. But again, it looks scary dark in there, but it's not. It goes on pretty sheer, and you can buff it out. You can also add a little bit more for more pigment if you want, but I like those a lot, so I repurchased those. I was going to look into the Boom mascara, but it only comes in waterproof, and I really dislike waterproof mascaras, mainly because it's so hard to get them off. So I did not get that, but I did get this, which is the Iconic Waterproof Brow Pencil. This is in the shade Cool Taupe, and I'll tell you what, this is the closest that I've found to being my perfect shade, because oftentimes the blonde pencils, they're too orangey or too yellowy on me. This is just right. It's got like a little bit of gray in it, but I love it. So I'll probably be using that today. I did also repurchase, because I've had this before, the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. I know everybody uses this. One of these. And this I got in the shade, what, Blonde. My only complaint about these is that it's a twist up, like you turn it to make it come up. I don't know if you can see. But as I'm applying it to my brow, it like twists itself down. So I have to keep turning it up. Not a huge deal, but that is something I don't love about that. Update on this that I mentioned, I think, in a previous video. This is the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer, and I actually like this a lot. Looks like this, very silky. In fact, we're going to use this. Sometimes I use Vaseline for what I'm doing right now, because it's sort of an occlusive. It doesn't let things in or out, so it gives a really nice, it doesn't show any of your texture when you put your makeup products on. I usually dab some of that. I tap it. I just tap, tap, tap. But this is a wonderful texture. And then I put some in my, what do they call those? I just forgot. Maybe a little bit, tap it on my nose, because I tend to have some texture there. And then I put some there, in my 11s, as they say. And then I'll dab a little through my forehead. But yeah, so I love this e.l.f. Putty Primer, Luminous Putty Primer. I would recommend that. Okay, so while we're here, how about I do some brow action? In general, it's kind of problematic because I don't have much brow hair on the tails of my brow out here. So, like, this isn't really showing up out there. Kind of. But do the other side here. Are we even? Yeah, looks not too bad. As with most humans, my face is not symmetrical, so if I tend to come in too far, I usually do it with this eye. But we'll try to find a balance. I know what they say, your brows aren't supposed to be twins, they're supposed to be sisters. But if I can help it, I try not to have one like thick and one thin, or one like further into my nose and the other one not. You know, I try to make it seem harmonious. Okay, so we did that. What else can I talk to you about? Oh, I found this, I think it was at Walmart, and It's Revolution brand, which I don't own. This is the only thing that I have ever owned from Revolution. It's the Blusher Reloaded in the shade Pop My Cherry. And I really like this. I know it looks scary in the pan, but it goes on much sheerer. You can build it up if you want more coverage, but it's like a Snow White type situation with the cherry appley red blush. I love it. And the texture is really nice. I have not tried this yet, but I hear a lot of people talking about it. This is from Benefit Cosmetics, the Pore Professional. This is the primer that's supposed to blur out pores, which especially like in here and then on my nose, I do tend to show texture, big pores, depending on what I'm wearing. And then this isn't going to be for today, but I have a special event coming up, and I'm going to make sure that I have my head freshly shorn, freshly shaved. And so I didn't want it just to be plain. And I don't do makeup like back on my head. This is the Vaseline Gel Oil in the shade Sunlit Glow. And it's a lotion that's got some sparkle to it. You can probably see. So we're going to do that on the old noggin. Something that I am going to do before the event is practice what I want my makeup and my head, and I'll try on my outfit with the jewelry and the whole thing, because I want to make sure that there aren't any surprises on the actual day. So I don't know, maybe I'll be able to take some pics or film it or somehow let you in on that so you can see what's going on there. And then I purchased from Laura Geller, you know, it's probably my favorite brand. This is the Laura Geller, the Fran Drescher collection in October, several times throughout the years. She has done a makeup collection that benefits breast cancer. Hi. So this is an eyeshadow quad, some pretty neutral and rosy tones. It came with this double-ended brush, which is nice. And then it also came with this Kajal longwear eyeliner in the shade, what? In the shade Dark Brown Coal. So it was a nice little collection, and it's going to a good cause. A portion of the proceeds goes to a good cause. I also got, and I have not tried these yet, it came in a pack of 3. It's the Laura Geller Glam on the Go Face and Eye Palette, and it came in a set of 3. There is the Morning Rush, which looks like that. And there's a, they're calling it a base. This is for the eyes. Eyelid base, a blush, there's a crease, and then obviously that's a shimmer tone. So that's pretty. I haven't tried those yet. This one is called After Hours. The base is darker, and then there's a rosy or darker blush, crease, and then the sparkly shimmer up there. And then last but not least, this one is called Weekend Warrior. Darkest of the base shades, a lighter pinkish blush, and then crease and sparkle. So I'm excited to try those. I like her formula for the shadows and blush and stuff, so it should be good. But I also got this. This is the RSVP Ready Laura Geller Big Night Out Full Face Palette. And it's one of these book deals that unfolds. Oh, there's a card that tells you where to put stuff. But there we go. I'll hold it back a little bit. Yeah, so there's a nice big mirror. There's also a magnification mirror over here. This is a 5x. We've got some highlighter, blush, and bronzer. These are all shadows over here on this side. And then there's some lip creams here on the bottom. And then cream blush and cream highlighter over on the side. So that's great for traveling, that sort of thing. If you want everything in an easily transportable, compact size, it's great. And then, last but not least, I got these eyeshadow collections. This one is the Delectables. I have a couple other Delectables. This one is Soho Shimmers. They're all shimmers. They're really pretty. There's different tones. There's some rosy tones, some more natural tans and bronzies. That's what the front looks like. And then this one is the Delectables, but it's Madison Avenue Mattes. And I'm excited about these. However, I haven't used this yet, but you'll see this one, it broke. It was broken when it came in shipping. I don't think I'm going to bother sending it back because it's a shade that I have a similar one to in one of her other palettes, so I'll be okay. But I suppose I could because it did arrive to me damaged. All right, are we content with that? With the brows? I don't know. Maybe let's, this part's okay. But maybe I can darken it up a little bit on the outside. That'll do. Okay, I think today, and I know I used this recently in a video, but I'm on a resurgence for this. The Laura Geller Liquid Double Take. I really like it. I do. So let's dot some of that on. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, maybe I'll put a little bit. I don't know that I'll use an eyelid primer today. Let's just use a little of that. And I need to get out this is my Nicole Beauty foundation brush blender, which I really like. And I'm just gonna sort of stipple that in. But it goes on really nicely. It's good coverage. I am not putting on a ton, but you could add a little bit more if you want more coverage. You know what? I have a different brush that I think I'm going to use on the lids. How are we looking? It's looking okay. Just blend that up. Pretty nice. Okay, let me get this. This is actually a Mally Beauty concealer brush. There we go. And it's sort of a weird shape. I've talked about this before. The only thing I don't like is that kind of pointy edge right there. You kind of have to be careful that you don't turn the brush the wrong way and then you poke yourself. But I do like it's slightly fanned. Has a decent density. There. What do we think? I think that looks nice. It's already dried down. I don't feel tacky. I am going to put some powder lower top. Let's use some of this Doll 10 from the Refocus and Glow. I'm going to use this. This is a really cool shaped brush. Look at that. This is a Kubai Kai brush. Unfortunately, Kubai Kai is no longer in business. But it just like fits nice. I don't even know because it's not labeled in any way. I don't know if that's what this brush is intended to be used for, but that's what I'm using it for. Under there. Okay, and then we're going to switch. Actually, maybe I'll use the same brush to get in here. And I want to do that because I plan on using powder shadows and powder blush. Well, probably powder everything. Although I might try some of that Boom Stick bronzer. But as you know, powder blends with powder. So if you have a liquid or a cream or something on and then you're trying to blend something that's powder on top of that, you might have a harder time. So that's how we're going to remedy that situation. Pretty good start. Okay. Now, and yes, I think we're going to use, here's our, and don't worry, we're going to blend. This is the Boomstick bronze. Maybe a little bit. Go across here. Look a little crazy. Wait. I might have gotten a little aggressive, but you know what? It's fine. Everything is fixable because once I blend this out a little bit, I'm just using my fingers. Blend it out a little bit. We're gonna dab over it with that foundation brush. I also got a little low over here. And I'll just use a little of my wipe. That in.
Daddy?
Yeah.
Do you know where the pigs are?
The what?
The pigs.
What pigs?
The pigs that we use for the thing that I'm using downstairs.
I don't, honey.
But you should. You're the parent. You're the parent.
All right. So I think that looks pretty good. Let's do with my didn't put as much by the nose, so that looks good there. And I think up here is okay. Plus, we have to trust the process. When we don't have very much on the face, it looks a little crazy as we're going along, but it'll be better as we go. Yeah, let's use some of this. You know what I might want to do is use sometimes I like to sort of underpaint, you know, where you put stuff on underneath other things and they kind of show through. This is the Lucky Chick Fruit Infused Illuminizer. They're like liquid highlight drops. Well, maybe not liquid, maybe creamy gel. But I'm tapping that here. And a little bit on the other side. And I'm hoping that, bit on the nose, that's gonna just sort of show through a skosh under the blush. Okay, this is the Revolution Blusher Reloaded. Now, I'm gonna try to be careful. Oops. What's that? Piece of something. I don't want to go too crazy. Isn't that pretty? The other thing to consider is that as we apply things, they often look darker, and then after they meld with your skin a little more, it tones down. Okay, blending brush, we're gonna this side. I always seem to go darker on this side with the blush. I don't know why. I think that looks nice. Okay. Now let's I'm going to go in with, this is the Laura Geller Longwear Kajal in dark brown coal. This is the one that came in the breast cancer Fran Drescher kit. I don't have a lot of time before this sets to buff it out. I'm going to smudge it a little. And again, I know it looks a little crazy. I'm getting some glare from over here. A little crazy right now, but once I get the shadows on and blend everything, it's going to be okay. I don't like to take it all the way into the corner. I just like to keep my eyes a little more open. I forgot to talk to you about the new eyeshadow palettes that I got. This one is from Wet n Wild. It was part of their Halloween release I saw it in the store a couple weeks ago. They had other items that were a little too Halloween specific for me. But this one is called Fantasy Makers, and it's purples and grays, a couple blues. But I like this a lot. It was fun. I've used this a few times. And then the other eyeshadow palette that I got recently is this e.l.f. palette. And what is this called? This is the Nude Rose Gold. And it's a 10 pan. So those are nice too. Let's see. Let's try the e.l.f. today. Maybe, if I can get it open. There we go. So I'm going to go in with, I think, this sort of neutral tan color as my base. I know it's not really showing up a whole lot, but if nothing else, it's going to make blending a little easier. Because I'm not going to do a one color shadow today. Bring this up here. Okay, now let's see. I'm gonna try, we'll see how it goes. It's a little bit darker shimmer. I'm gonna see if we can get that going in the crease. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm bringing it across where I did the liner a little bit. Do the other side. I suppose you could say that I did a winged liner, but once I finish the eye look, it's not really winged. It just sort of lifts my eye shape, or at least that's how I view it. Okay, I'm happy with that. Where's my blender? I'm gonna blend. And I'm blending out and up. I don't want to blend down because that's what I'm trying to avoid. My eyes do turn down a little bit naturally, as do my brows, and so I don't go nuts with it, but I do try to get things going the opposite direction. Okay, now, let's see. Do I have a smaller? I do. This is a flat brush. I'm going to try this for a little sparkle. Let's do maybe this gold right in there. I will say there is quite a bit of fallout with this e.l.f. palette, meaning it's kicking up a lot of shadow dust. That doesn't necessarily bother me, because I like how they're blending, I like the colors. I like what's happening, but I just want you to be aware that is something to consider. Okay. What do we think so far? I think we're looking okay. I want to put some, I need a short narrow brush. That one's too small. How about this one? I'm going to use this. This brush is from Cala. I don't know. But I need to put something under the lashes. I'm not going to do the liner down there. I don't do mascara on the bottom, and I try not to do anything too harsh down there because I feel like it pulls my eye down. Okay, let's blend. There, I adjusted my light. That warms up your view a little bit. Okay, now, what do we want to do? I have, down here, I have a little bit of a darker, or I thought I did. This is Laura Geller Incredible eyeliner in the shade Blackbird. It's a smaller pencil, smaller tip. I'm just gonna, on the outer portion of my eye, just reinforce my lash line a little bit. What do we think? Even-ish? I think ish. What do we think? It's looking okay. I think it's time for some mascara. I'm using my Refer eyelash curler. I find that my eyelashes do not hold curl very well. But even if I lose some, it's more than if I do nothing, which my lashes are pretty straight and they point downwards. Okay, what do I want to use today? I think I'm going to use this one. I mentioned it in a previous video because I bought it new. I have not tried this before, but I've used it a few times now. It's the e.l.f. Lash It Loud. It's okay. I don't love it. I don't dislike it. It's just kind of, it is what it is. I gotta get in close. apparently it's hard for me to put on mascara without opening my mouth. All right, we'll do the other eye. Okay, looking good. Let's do some, what is this? This is almost gone. This is the AOA Studio setting spray. Is there a name? We don't know. It's just setting spray. Lock in your makeup. I guess there's no name. Okay. It has a decently fine mist. Ooh, it is. There is a fragrance to it. Again, it's not floral, it's not vanilla, it's not food or fruit, it's makeup. I don't know. Okay, so what do we think? There we go. It's not the best that I've ever done, but there's nothing wrong with it. I like it. If you have used any of these products, let me know in the comments down below. Or if you have been meaning to try any of them, you have questions, thoughts, comments, let me know. Let's chat. You all are my peeps to chat about makeup with. So I appreciate you being here. Give this video a thumbs up. Like it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. It does help me out. It's free and you get notified when I post new videos. So have a great day. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.